What's up, beautiful people? It is your homegirl Shameless, all up in the United States. And I'm Canadian. I'm half Canadian and half American. My mom is Filipino-Canadian. My dad's side of the family is American. My dad, he's now Canadian because he's been living in Canada for all this time. And alas, here I am. So I thought this video would be cool. I have a lot of Canadian and American viewers, so why not? Now, this is a YouTube video that is simplified in 5 minutes. So what I'm gonna say is broad strokes, generalizations, stereotypes. This is not the case for everyone. This is to give you an overview of the major differences between Canada and the US. Now, the first one is the accent, the O-U-T sound, out. Americans pronounce it out. I'm gonna go out, I'm about that life. In Canada, it is out. I'm gonna go out. I'm about to go to the store. Can I get you anything? And they also do the sorry. I'm sorry. That sorry sound. Americans pronounce it sorry. I'm sorry. Shoot, calm down. I'm sorry. And the Canadians apologize a lot. That's like a dead giveaway you're Canadian. When I moved to New York, everyone knew I was Canadian because I kept apologizing, and the out sound. So because I was a voiceover actor, I worked really hard to get rid of that. Even though I got that right, people still were like, well, where are you from? What's your story? This photographer was like, oh, you're Canadian. That explains it. And I'm like, explains what? He's like, I thought you were rich. I'm like, rich? In Canada, nobody would ever assume I come from money. It's only because I'm a woman of color living in New York without an accent that people are assuming I went to a private school or something. Interesting. The standards of education between Canada and the US. Canada, it is higher, it is more affordable. So not only is it accessible to more people, the average tuition for Canadians is between $6,000 and $12,000. American tuition, I feel like 1 year of American tuition is the equivalent of 4 years Canadian. So here in the US, I find that education is limited to scholarships. If you can get a scholarship, that's great. If you can't, you gotta get that money. Canadians have more access to education, and because of that, there's a huge thing in Canada. It's called the brain drain. When Canadians graduate, a lot of the American companies hire them because they are smarter. They have a more global perspective. The other most noticeable thing I've noticed, noticeables, Canadians are more family oriented, more like group, team. When I was in Canada, I really felt like this is awesome, like teamwork. Yes, go, we support you, we love you. In the US, again, my experience, New York, LA, it's very hustle. Hustle, 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 get it, do it on your own, figure out a way. And I think that has a lot to do with the money. Americans, especially immigrants, will hustle for that dollar bill. In Canada, we have this thing called a loonie and a toonie, which is a $2 coin. Coins, like pocket change, as valuable as it is, does not carry the same mentality as a dollar bill. When it rains in New York, people run onto the streets to sell umbrellas. When it's hot in New York, people are selling water bottles. And you hand this over. The whole mentality with $1 bills versus a $1 coin is different. And it translates in so many ways. Other noticeable differences between Canada and the US, healthcare. Healthcare in Canada is publicly owned by the government, the people. Here in the US, it is privately owned, meaning there is a non-for-profit, profit, and government-owned. If you're sick in Canada and you're Canadian, it's costing the government. So it's in their best interest to keep you healthy and alive. In the US, there was actually a profit to be made on the sick, which is a conflict of interest and of major concern. So that is a noticeable difference. The average Canadian is healthier than the Americans. The food regulations are so strict in Canada versus the US. We weren't allowed to have Red Bull for the longest time. That was illegal in Canada. trans fats and saturated fats were cut out a long time ago. I confuse the two, but one of those. Drinking age limits in Canada, 18, 19, depending on which province you're in. The US is 21. What else? There is so much more. I would love to hear all of those in the comment section. If you've lived in more countries than one, please comment and let me know which countries you've lived in. I think it's awesome to travel and explore the world outside of your own. I will ask some friends that are Canadian about the whole visa situation because I get a lot of those questions and I can't explain that to you, but I do have friends that have visas, so I will see if I can snag them up. Remember to do you, be you, and stay true, boo. Be shameless. Be fierce. Be fabulous. Be worldly. Get out there. See the rest of the world. Come on now.